Can I tell you how I learned about sound bites, if I may? It was 1995. The first ever planet orbiting a star that was not the sun was just discovered. I had just joined the staff here at the American Museum of Natural History. I was a staff scientist. I was not director. Actually, at that point, I was interim director. The previous director had left. A new director had not yet been appointed. It was all the news. The news was hitting, and NBC sent a reporter to the Hayden Planetarium for a quote. Okay. So they didn't know me from anything. I'm just the director, so the interim director. So you get a quote from the man in charge. So that's what they did. So they said, well, how do we know this is a planet? And I gave my best professorial reply. Well, the Doppler shift, as it moves around the sun, the star, and it shifts, the waves get compressed and expand one and another, and you can calculate, there's a formula, you calculate that, you get this shifting of the spectrum of the star, you infer the presence of a mass, and you get a planet. Okay? And I described the fact that as the planet moves around the sun, its host star, the star moves in response to that. And it's that movement of the sun that we measure. Okay? So I go running home, put on the TV, and all they had was me doing this. No Doppler shift, no. And I thought to myself, at that moment, even though they're interviewing me in my place, it's actually for them, in their place. And in their place, sound bites rule. They can compress the World War III into a 4-minute story. Everything is a sound bite. So I said, rather than have them sound bite me, why don't I hand them sound bites? They can't edit that. They got to use them as sound bites. So I stood there in front of a mirror and I just barked out Saturn, rings, black hole, Big Bang, Alpha Centauri, Earth's core, comets. And for every one of those words, I said, what are 3 sentences I can put together that are informative, make you smile, and are so tasty you might want to tell someone else? There is the anatomy of a soundbite. And don't think that soundbites aren't useful if they don't contain a curriculum. A soundbite is useful because it triggers interest in someone who then goes and then puts in the effort to learn more. And that's what all a museum can really be. A person spends, 6 hours a day times 10 months a year times 12 years in school, but they spend 3 hours in a museum? And you want them to learn something you could test them on when they get out? No. I mean, you could try, but I think it's unrealistic. Take the moment to stimulate interest. And upon doing so, you have set a learning path into motion that becomes self-driven because that soundbite was so tasty. Why do you think we call them bites? So, and that's kind of what Twitter is. It's almost like haiku, actually. It's like the fewest words to convey the most. And it feels like when I compose a tweet, I feel like, was it Leonardo? Who's the guy who said when they're making a sculpture, Michelangelo says, I just cut away everything that isn't the man or the woman. And then that's what's left, is the woman. Now you can do that with Michelangelo. You can know what piece would not be the man. But you trim, you carve the words such that all that's left is the most important concept communicated in the simplest, most direct way. And that does not mean using big words. So I have a problem with that. And ever since that interview in 1995, that's what I've been doing. And I give them a soundbite, and I go back and sit down, and then they come back every time. So they like it. People say, oh, how do you get on the news so often? I'm not looking to get on the news. I'm stay home with my kids. I don't need to go out and be on anybody's newscast. But they remember the last soundbite I gave them. I'm okay with that.